If it's love, I want everything. Touch my soul, touch my heart, don't judge my mental. They told me that life is simple, been real since Papa Pimple. I started out in the rental, Sonata, the presidential. Speak once and listen twice. They told me that less is simple.
What's happening with y'all? I am Meshach. Thank you for tuning in to Reset with Meshach. A lot of controversy surrounding this Drake drop, man. And you got DJ Head doing the most weirdest thing I've ever seen in hip hop.
DJs who feel conflicted. If you go to djhead.com, I have an edit of Too Hard for the Radio that you can play without disses in it. It's just a DJ Head edit that you can play free of charge. You can download it. Go to DJ.
What did you remove?
Well, he said something about mustard. He said something about I forgot. It was like a couple things he said. I don't remember the bars, but I just remember it was like some little slick shit that he said. So those things have been removed, and you can play the DJ Head version free and clear with guilt free.
Who's the?
If you do not care about that and you want to play the record on some, I gotta do what the crowd wants. Play the version. Play the original version, because it also looks type crazy. It looks type crazy where it's like, it just looks type crazy where it feels like if DJ Academics would have done this, niggas would have bodied him. And you know I'm being all the way fair, because I don't like nothing about Academics. They would have bodied. This feels like something that he would have done. I want to play Not Like Us, but I don't want to. And so it's like, yeah, I don't agree with that. It's either play the record or don't play the record.
I don't care what region you're from, what artist you like. I've always thought of the optics of not playing a track versus editing a track to suit what you want to hear, right? That's crazy. If you don't like certain things, don't play it. But to edit an entire track, you proved the title's name. I guess it was too hard for the radio. Damn. But I just wanted to talk about some real things, man. I always feel in my heart that I'm a real hip hop fan. I've been excited over rap beef when it's sticking to wax, right? Like, it's just in the music. I've always been excited, man. One of the biggest notable rap beefs in my life, and I'm giving away my age, was Pac versus Biggie. Now, there were other beefs, right? I love Nas and Jay-Z's beef. Love that. But Pac versus Biggie is what this beef is reminding me of between Drake and Kendrick. And minus some of the deaths, and I think it was like one death, Drake's people in Canada, wherever that was. But Pac versus Biggie really had people, no matter where you was from, really like going against one another. If you like Biggie, I can't fuck with you. If you like Pac, I can't fuck with you. And there was those of us that rock with Biggie and Pac, like me. So I was always weirded out by the so-called stans, because you can't be a fan and draw a line in the sand with who you only gonna listen to versus who you're not. That's weird. You can't say you love music, but then you have this bias that seems manufactured, right? And point in taken, before Kendrick and Drake beef came to the scales that it is now, there was always subliminal shots from both artists, you know, and I've always found it competitive, right? On the Control verse, damn, Kendrick went at everybody. I didn't take it so serious because he literally described it as competition. You know, Drake always throwing subliminals, which is why this Iceman album was kind of cool, because it was more direct than subliminal. But that beef is having people move around like this is Crips and Bloods, yo. It takes the fun out of hip hop. I can't, you know, we already know the comment section is toxic, but every now and then you laugh, but over this Drake Kendrick stuff, when you read the comment section, you would think these motherfuckers are gangbanging. It's weird, bruh. It's just very weird. So for DJ Head to be a DJ and him not liking the song or wanting to promote the song is nothing new. DJs have been doing this forever, y'all. It's nothing new for a DJ to not play a certain artist's record, especially if it's involving in dissing people you rock with, whatever. It's kind of weak in my book for any DJ to do that, especially if it's a paid gig, but I get it. It's not nothing new, but to edit a diss song to favor your ears is something weird, bro. We're at a time now that I'm understanding why hip hop is dead, because every one of your biases, whether you're a Drake fan, a Kendrick fan, a J. Cole fan, I feel like, but specifically Drake and Kendrick, we're gonna keep it here. This is where it's stemming from. It's like your bias is manufactured. You got people that never liked Drake over 10 years ago, so I can't call that person biased. You got people that wasn't a fan of Kendrick over 10 years ago, so I can't call your sentiments biased. But when the beef started, a lot of people who went against Drake or Kendrick, vice versa, y'all beefs are manufactured, bro. It's off of trends. And this is where I claim you a casual. You're not even a stan for real. You're a casual that was dictate to pick sides, however the narrative was, whatever the trend was, specifically, if I'm to be real, after Not Like Us. Because if you really was supposed to go crazy about a diss track, it was Euphoria, y'all. Euphoria had everything a diss track was supposed to have. Euphoria, lyrically speaking, pen-wise, was superior past anything that Not Like Us was. The reason why Not Like Us was pretty impressive in my book is because Kendrick didn't really have like club bangers like that. He never really had club bangers. When I was really rocking with Kendrick at a level where, yes, he was popular, somewhat commercialized, but Kendrick had a lot of like dope tracks that a lot of us that are into hip hop really respected, but the masses wasn't checking for like that. But with Not Like Us, it was a, catchy song that was not only a diss track, it was a banger. You're lying if you say it wasn't. But I feel like because it was mocking Drake and making fun of him, is like people just went with that. All of a sudden, they've always been Kendrick fans, and the numbers don't show that. I know that for a fact. I remember times I would rock Kendrick in the whip, and many different people that I hang with was like, man, I'm not really feeling that. So I know for a fact, fast forward years later, you're telling me, damn, Kendrick is the best out, and it's like, dude, you don't know nothing about Good Kid, Mad City. Damn, none of these other albums, Mr. Morale, most of y'all told me sucked, but now Kendrick never had a miss, and and we can look on the other side, a lot of people that was rocking with Drake at every party, every vibe, now it's, I don't like this guy. So a lot of the biases are manufactured, and I'm telling you, it's doing something to hip hop. A lot of y'all don't even realize hip hop has low-key been dead for a while, but it's been literally declining the past 3 years. Nothing in hip hop was really charting for 3 years. So when the Iceman dropped, I would have to respectfully go back to when the beef happened. Hip hop was picking up, but I didn't really count that because it was beef. Everybody liked anything toxic, so I didn't really count that. So when the GNX album dropped, it made numbers. I'm like, all right, hip hop with Kendrick's help is coming back. Then with Iceman dropping, which broke all numbers that Kendrick had, I'm like, yeah, this is it. Like, it was between Kendrick's rollout with GNX, which a lot of y'all, I really think, wasn't really listening to it. You was looking for the toxic stuff. It was a pretty impressive album. When Iceman dropped, some of y'all acting surprised Drake, came number one, like he's never done that before. He did break the all-time record of it. He's only had, 14, 15 #1 albums, like, come on, y'all. Like, that's pretty cool. Y'all gonna say the bots and the machine, but it's like, at this point, I guess Drake can't win. If he sucks, y'all gonna call him for sucking, right? Like, if his numbers ain't impressive, y'all gonna call him out. If his numbers hit, y'all still gonna call him out. So he's in a lose-lose situation. But hip-hop really won. Hip-hop is charting again. The 3-album rollout is for a reason, guys. Drake was suing his label. Let's not forget that. It's so obvious he dropped these albums to get out of the deal, but the albums all had their motives, you know. Maid of Honor is for the summer. Definitely. That is going to pick up even more during the summer. But for anyone to tell me the Iceman album is not impressive and you heard it when it first came out, I'm like, that's a bias, because as you can see, a couple days later, a week later, it's breaking all type of records. So it shows you that hip-hop was in a drought. So for those of you that really thinks the album was not that impressive, well, I'll say this. You can't disagree with me that he's made rap interesting again. I'm looking forward to Kendrick's next album. For everyone that says, oh, Drake was talking about Kendrick and blah, blah, blah. Well, I would look forward to another Kendrick album that's not talking about Drake. Because I always was a fan of Kendrick when he never even had to diss. He just had bars. So I feel like you can't say whatever on one artist, Kendrick or Drake, without saying it about the other. We can't just pick and choose selectively and then say you're a hip hop fan. No, you're a casual. You're who the machine loves, because they can push who you like based off whatever narrative that they force down our throats. So shout out to the real hip hop heads that really sat back and tried to, you know, unbiasedly listen to the music and really liked or disliked based off of their own opinions, not what the narrative was. So if you like what I was saying, or if you don't like, let me meet you in the comment section. This is Reset with Meshach, and around here, man, I know for a fact I see the state of hip-hop. It needed this album, and it needs another Kendrick album. So let's not complain, and let's just hope these guys keep giving us some classics, man. Hip-hop is in a drought, and I know y'all don't like the other stuff that's out there. So instead of complaining, man, my real hip-hop heads, shout out to y'all, man. That's what this video was for. I see y'all, man. I see y'all not drinking the Kool-Aid and falling into this Crips and Bloods versus beef with hip-hop artists most of us are never going to meet. So pull your skirts down, kick back, like the music, or don't listen to it at all. It is what it is. I'ma holla at y'all.